Now this closes here, just to see this a little closely. Yeah, after this table name there should be a bracket here which starts here, and this should be here, opening bracket, closing bracket. Yeah, everything else looks great. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the insertion. Okay, so now since we have read all these values, what we will do is we will say we need content values is equal to new content values. Okay, we got the values, and now I'll say values dot put id, name, surname, marks, grade. Okay, so since id is automatic, so I'll say name, this name, comma, what's the value I read, this name is name, the small name, and then values dot put surname, and then values dot put this is gonna be marks, capital, because this is the field name we are typing, marks, which is supposed to be name, surname, marks is integer, so we're gonna get float. Okay, so I don't want to go there, so let's change this to varchar, and we record marks, and then we also have grade, which we should be writing values dot put, and then grades. So what is this grade coming from? This grade, so capital grade, and this grade without s, this one is without s. Okay, now this grade says cannot resolve symbol, so okay, again without s, so this is without symbol. Let's save everything. Since we got the value, and what we will do is we'll say db dot insert, and table name, content values, table name, null values. Just a minute, get well soon. So this function is what this is going to do is going to return us back -1 if there is going to be any problem inserting. So we'll say if result is equal to -1, we'll display a message and say there's a problem, and we'd say toast, toast problem inserting record. This is supposed to be double equals to -1. Okay, so what is this result coming from? Yeah, okay, result, int result is equal to db.insert. What's the problem? Incompatible types, required int found long. Okay, let's change this to long. db.insert result is equal to -1, else toast dot or toast, clicking toast, record inserted successfully. Okay, you can do this code this way in the insertion, or the other way which I've taught you before, which is going to do the query like this. Okay, and you use insert db.insert this way, or in the other way you can use the raw query or execute SQL actually. So this is the insertion. Then we'll move forward. We want to test this out, run application. The application runs in the emulator. Okay, it's back here. Enter name is, let's say, Fatma, surname is Abdullah, uh, marks is, for example, 78. Okay, now grade is nothing, we are not entering this. What you should do is insert student record. Unfortunately, there has been a problem. Let's dig out what's the problem in this case. Null pointer exception, main activity.java 62. So surname, name, surname, it did not find anything in the surname. So let's say what's the problem. Let's see what's the problem. This is names txt, surname txt, marks txt, grade txt, insert btn, read btn. The other one, all these also have similar names, so I'm gonna change these names so that the txt comes first, so that there's no duplication. I suspect they in Android it actually does not do that. So txt name, I'm gonna change this to, and this one is surname txt, I'm gonna change this to txt surname, and marks txt, I'm gonna change this to txt marks, and then grade txt, I'm gonna change this to txt grade, because these are similar, it's becoming duplicate, and that is actually creating problem. There's no delete button, home button, update button duplicates, there's only these text fields were duplicates. So I just save this and we try running this now again. Okay, and I run this. So it's like this. Okay, please go ahead. Name Fatma, Abdullah, AT, and insert student record inserted successfully. So now I got this working. So, and it should also go towards the read student record. So this page is working. So we need to open the read and type the code over there for the read. So I'm going to create a final. What is on the read anyway? ID TV txt name txt surname. Let me write this correctly. ID TV txt name txt surname. What else? txt marks txt grade txt marks txt grade, and then we have read next btn, read next home delete update, read next home btn delete btn update btn. Okay, so I've got these widgets on the screen which I should be connecting to. So I'll say final ID TV text view is equal to, yeah, final text view, actually final text view ID text view is equal to, cast this back to text view, find view by ID r.id dot ID TV was the name, and then final edit text, in this case it's txt name is equal to edit text, and it's going to be find view by ID r.id dot txt name, and then final edit text. Actually, let me just copy and paste this 3 more times. Okay, so txt name I have, then I need txt surname, txt marks, txt grade. I'm gonna change this to txt surname, txt marks, txt grade. These are the ones which are there on the screen. And then also I have, now after all this, make sure you don't mess up with these brackets, the read next button, home button, read next btn. Yeah, so I need to create the final for this. Final read next btn, oh button, actually final button read next btn is equal to button find view by id r.id dot read next. Okay, so I'm gonna copy and paste this 4 times because I've got 4 buttons here. Okay, so this is home btn, and then there is the delete btn, and then there is update btn. This is home. I'm gonna paste this here. Delete is pasted here. Update is pasted here. Okay, I need to create listeners for all these. So for example, first of all, the easiest one is home. So home btn dot set on click listener new space control space on click listener, and I say intent home intent is equal to new intent, and alt enter. In this intent I'm gonna give this argument read dot this comma main activity dot class. Okay, now then what happened here? I'm gonna start activity home intent. Okay, home intent. So this is the home click listener created. Now I need to do the read next. So read next btn dot set on click listener new space control space on click listener. Now what this is gonna do is gonna connect to the database, and let's connect to the database like we just did over here. We did connect to the database in the other activity. Yeah, Sqlitedb open or create database. So I copy and paste this here, which is connect to the database. Now this database name I can copy and paste this also. Yeah, so open or create database name, and then I need to read. Okay, so for reading I need a cursor or cur is equal to db.raw query, and I'm gonna write my query here, which is select asterisk from, what was the table name? I don't remember, so I'll just write table name comma null. I don't need any other thing over here, so alt enter. So I got all the items here. All right, let's save this for a second. Okay, now one other thing to think of is that when you click on the read next button, that's not when the cursor should go to the database and read up everything. So like we did in the previous example, whenever this activity has come up, at that point meaning just below this, just declaring these and not waiting for the buttons to be clicked, at that point when the activity has been created, the on create, at that point we will connect to the database, and then we'll read everything, but we will not display everything until the user says next, move to the next. So I'm gonna just place this code over here, which is read records from database. It starts here and ends here. Okay, so once it has read the records from the database, I would like to declare this final, because this will be accessed in the read next button. So here I'll do this cur dot move to next. Now if there is another one, it will actually give me true, and also I can then read and display the values. But if there is no other record, it should give me boolean. So I'm gonna write this under if CRUD dot move to next. If it was successful in moving to the next, now I'm gonna display these values on these text view, IDTV, and then text name, surname, marks. So this is what I'm gonna do, IDTV, and then I need these txt name, txt surname, txt marks, txt grade. Yeah, okay. So what am I doing here? Actually, it should not go to the next line like this. I am not sure why is it going there. Anyway, okay, I'll write this myself. IDTV dot set text c dot get string 0. So whatever is at the top, just read it and display. And then what was it again? Txt name, txt surname, txt name dot set text CRUD dot get string 1. Why is this 0 and 1? How is it 0 and 1? You see, you should understand, when we created this table, this one was integer, so it comes at 0 because it starts with an index. The integer is 0, name is 1, surname is 2, marks is 3, grade is 4. So that's what's happening here. Txt name and then txt surname dot set text CRUD dot get string get string 2, and txt marks dot set text CRUD dot get string 3. Notice if you have been saving in float or int, you have to use the corresponding one, not string. Txt grade dot set text CRUD dot get int or get float. Okay, so in this case it's grade is also string, which is at 4. Now this is automatically calculated and stored. This is automatically incremented and displayed. And these three, the name, surname, and marks, is what we are actually getting from the user. So we do that, we display, and we just display it. If CRUD move next, we display. Otherwise, else we say a toast. No more records exist. Okay, so let's now try and run this, see what happens. Read next. So we have done the insert and we've also done the read next, and now we need to do the update and delete. Okay, let it finish building. Read student record goes here, and we say read next. Fatma Abdullah is here. No more record exists. Go to home. Let's enter one more. Let's say Aisha Hassan, and this one is, let's say, 75, and insert student record successfully. Go back, read next. 80, and it is C, which should be B. More than 80 is C, less than 80, more than 80 should be C. B, 80 or below is C. Read next is 75. Let's go home, and let's say Ahmad Salim. Let's say this one is 40, and insert student record. Go back, home, read student record, read next. Fatma, Aisha, Ahmad is F. Okay, that's good. Now let's do an A student here finally. Let's say Asma Ali, this is 91, and insert student record, read student record. Read next. Aisha, Ahmad, Asma, and you see the IDs are being updated automatically. Why? Because this is an auto increment. We selected 1 2 3 4. Now we need to do delete and update. Okay, let's get back to the programming part. The update and delete is what we want to do. Let's do the delete btn dot set on click listener new space control space on click listener, and I'm gonna create this listener for update also. Update btn dot set on click listener new space control space new on click listener, and then here what we want to do is we want to do the update. So what we do in the update, we need to get the value right now which has been selected, and we create which has been selected, and we create the content values again, and then we do the update. So let's first of all get the values like this. So we need to get the values like this. Just copy and paste from the insert. String name is equal to this one is being changed, txt name, this is txt surname, this is txt marks. This is coming from here, you see, txt name surname marks, and then also grade with the delete button. Okay, now forget about this. This has to be done in the update. Yeah, in the update, what we do, we read the name surname also marks, and then we again decide those marks based on however we have decided the marks here in the update. So we come back to the read and we copy and paste that here, update btn. So we've got these values now. We don't need to run another what do you call insert. We'll create the content values here again, content values with a small this is equal to new content values, and what we say is let's copy and paste this here again. Yeah, the whole thing. Excuse me. So we got these values, name surname marks grade. Where is this name coming from? This is coming from here. I have this here, don't I? Name surname marks grade. So can't you access this? Is access from inner class, needs to be declared as final. Okay. So I'll declare this as final, all these as final. Final, 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 final. Just a second, please. Hello. Okay, so let's move forward. I declared these as final so I can use them, and I did the calculation again. Now I don't need to insert, I need to update only. I created the content values. Now I'm going to do db dot. Okay, this is the language change which I should not be doing here. I say db dot update like I did before, db dot insert, and this should say table name, in which table I am doing the update, content values or the values, yeah, and then the condition, based on what condition, and you'll say id is equal to, what's the id you're giving, new string. I'm going to explain this to you just now. New string array, this is actually these braces, and then this id, actually the id we have to be reading from here, like just like we are setting up idtv.get string 0. So we'll say string id is equal to idtv.get text dot to string. Yeah, no need to return because the user is not writing there, but this should be integer, and we can easily integer dot parse int, do that here, integer dot parse int, whatever we have just read from the idtv, just change it to id. So where id is equal to string, and here we type id. So what we're doing, instead of writing the lengthy update statement, this is the ID. If you don't like, this is the ID I'm talking about. To update. Okay, so we've got this. We have finished the update. We set up the update values, and then we pass the update values to the update function, the table name, the values, the updated values, and then the 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 thing which will be actually the condition over here. If you look at the update function over here, just press Control. It will tell you what is it expecting. So first one is the string table name, content values, and the third one is the string, which is telling us ID is equal to question mark, the where clause, and the values of the where clause. This is the values of the where clause. So we are saying where ID is equal to this 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, whatever is the value ID we are changing, and now we update. So that's the update, and we return. We need to create the toast, appropriate toast. Create a new toast, which is actually make text record successfully updated. Okay, what you can also do is just write to be a little more interactive. You can give here ID plus record ID, so it will show you record 1, record 2, record 3, record 4, so automatically updated. The next thing we want to do is do the delete. And for the delete listener, we come here and we say db.delete table name, the where clause, ID is equal to question mark, comma, and where is the arguments. Now which one is the one which you want to delete? So we copy and paste this. This is the argument. Int ID is equal to this, and actually here you need to give this IDTV get text or toString. So what does it say? 3 arguments. And it should be in a, let's look at its signature, string R. So it says string array, like the one below. We have to give it as a string array, which is the string array. Is like this. It should be a new string array and an ID string which opens and closes like this. So if it is this case, let's delete this because it is directly taking the string. Now the thing is, the delete says I need a table name and the ID, the where clause, which should be deleted, and then the values which should be matching. So there can be multiple values. That's why it is an array over here. So since we are deleting only one, so we say the IDTV.getText or toString is the ID we are actually deleting. Okay, so let's move forward and try running this. I do the run app. Let's okay, this is the enter name to delete. So I'm going to delete this surname to delete, and marks is failing, insert student record. Let's go. Oh, okay, let's go back to the read student record, read next, Fatma, Aisha, Ahmad, Salim, Asma, and now this one is to be deleted. So I delete this, go home, come back, read next, read next, read next, read next. So the one which has been deleted is not shown again. So now let's update this. Asma Ali, I change this to Asma Sankur and update, record successfully updated. So number 4 has been updated. You see that? So let's go back home, read next, read next, read next, read next, and this has been updated. So let's now change for example, the values also. I'm gonna change this to from 89 to 95. Okay, and I say updated. Okay, go home, come back here, read next, read next, read next. It's now updated. Now let's check if I change this, is this gonna be changed also? So I change this to 60 and I say update. It's been updated. Home, come back, read next, read next, read next, read next. So yes, it has been updated. Okay, so that's pretty much all. Thank you very much for watching.